Before we start this video, do like and subscribe to our channel and not miss on any updates.
Hello friends, those of you who are writing CA final exams in November 24, this is a video for you. In this video, we're going to discuss how you can make a 110-day plan wherein you can actually prepare for CA final AFM and you can prepare for it comprehensively, thoroughly, and you can succeed in your November 24 exams. This is as much for people who are repeaters as it is for people who are writing exam for the first time. Some of you may have a slightly different strategy if you are first timers, because you may want to study longer and all of that, that's up to you. But this is a strategy that can be adopted by both the people equally. And we are on July 11th and results have been just declared today. So probably you are watching this on 12th, 13th, 14th, whichever day. But let us assume that you are watching this video from July 14th or 15th. So from July 14th, 15th, how many days do we have? We have roughly 16 days in July. Then we have 31 days in August, 30 days in September, and 31 days in October. Right, so it comes to roughly about 108. Okay, if you take July 15th or 14th, it comes to 110. Right, so think of it as a 110-day plan. 110-day plan. Now, this is a plan which focuses on how you can actually get more than 60 marks in CA final AFM. Right, CA final AFM. Now, am I suggesting that you should study AFM every day? No. Am I suggesting that you should study AFM for 12 hours a day? No. What we are actually suggesting is you should study 2 to 3 subjects a day, each subject 3 to 4 hours. So, maximum 4 hours if you study each day, and this whole plan is made on the fact that you study 4 hours a day. You are studying 4 hours a day per subject. So, if you are studying 2 subjects, you will obviously study 8 hours a day. If you are studying 3 subjects, probably 10 to 12 hours a day, right? So, 4 hours a day, if you study continuously, consistently, this subject called AFM, you will not even take 110 days. You will probably finish it off in 55 to 60 days only. So, you may plan to, start something, right now in July, then, take a break in August, again start in, September. You can do things like that. Because some of you are writing both the groups. When you are writing both the groups, and if you are studying 4 hours a day, and if you are studying for 60 days, that is total days is 110, and if you are studying for 55-60 days, you can easily cover all 6 subjects in a matter of 110 days. Why? Because every day, let's say you do 3 subjects, 3 to 4 hours a day, in 55 to 60 days, you can finish 3 subjects, and in the next 55 days, you can finish another 3 subjects. Okay, this is the underlying logic based on which we have created this. Now, how I have created this particular study plan is 2 aspects. First, importance of chapters, that is the first thing. Second thing is revision, whether you should revise, how many times you should revise. I would typically suggest 2 times revision. Okay, at least 2 times revision. I have given you the order in which chapters have to be revised, how much time you have to spend also. In addition to that, you have to write mocks. In addition to that, you have to practice MCQs. And so all of this put together, right, is definitely possible in 55 to 60 days. It depends on, provided you study 4 hours a day. If you're studying longer, obviously you can compress the time period as well. So let us have a look at it. I will also tell you what are the important things with respect to each chapter as well. Right. So first chapter that you should study, if you honestly ask me, is derivatives. Why derivatives? Because it contains certain fundamentals that are required for your important and most confusing and people's more scary chapter, which is Forex. So unless you are good in derivatives, there is no point moving to Forex. So first finish the derivatives chapter, then come to the Forex chapter. And derivative chapter, in the first revision, spend 3 days. Okay, spend 3 days, spend time on futures, spend time on options. Right, please spend adequate time, especially in derivatives chapter, 1 full day only on new theory topics. What are these new theory topics? I will write down here. Derivatives. You have new topics on credit derivatives. Then you have real options. Okay. Then you have electricity derivatives. A bunch of other stuff has actually come out. So please spend enough time on this. Spend probably a day on futures, a day on options, right? but spend more time on these new theory topics which have been added in this chapter. Very, very important. In May 24 attempt, questions were not asked from this chapter on theory, but I am pretty sure either in November 24 or May 25, you will get a question, because this chapter is genuinely they have added good quality stuff and they would want to test it. This is important both from a theory perspective as well as MCQ perspective. And one more point, my dear friends, May 24 question paper, if you honestly ask me, because of the MCQs has been easy. See, MCQs are not subjective, they cannot deduct marks. It is one of the 4 options that they give you, right? So they could not have deducted marks. A lot of students cleared the exams. There was obviously a lot of hard work, but MCQs helped everyone prepare. In fact, at least so far today on, when I'm recording this, I've at least got news of at least 10 students who have got more than 70 marks in AFM. My students who have taken AFM classes from me, whether free classes or paid classes, whatever they've taken from me, they have got more than 70 marks. At least 10 people have come out so far to me. Not only exemption, they've got literally distinction in that subject, right? Now, why am I saying that? Because you have to put enough effort, because November 24 may be a slightly tougher paper. MCQs may be tougher. Please remember that aspect. MCQs may be tougher in November 24. Please note that. Please put a star mark. This is a very important thing, because May 24 MCQs were actually easy according to a lot of people. Now, in derivatives chapter, you have to finish this. So, this first revision will take you 3 days. 3 days. And whenever I am saying 3 days, it can be 3 to 4, because some subjects, some topics you may finish slightly faster also. Okay. Then you move to the Forex chapter. A lot of people get confused on specific topics in Forex, especially when you have, topics like money market hedge. Okay. Then you have about fate of forward contract, right? These are typically the confusing topics. And of course, you also have currency options. This is where students actually get confused. They don't get confused in simple computations. They get actually confused in these kind of things. So please spend time on these. Specifically spend time on these 3 topics which are tough. Okay, if you are not getting something, this is the time to study. The first revision is the time where you actually perfect them. Right, the first revision is the time where you perfect them. If you find any of these topics tough, right, please comment on this video, and we will reach out. Our team will reach out, and we will actually help you with revision classes or any kind of special lectures only for these topics, because a lot of students find these 3 topics tough. So I would strongly suggest spend time on these 3 topics, because these are the ones where more questions are actually coming in the exam. Right. In this, no major new theory has been added, so you need not worry about that. Then in the Forex chapter also, there is one more thing. You have theory. You have theory in derivatives chapter also. In derivatives chapter also, you have theory like what is vega, what is delta, what is gamma, what is rho, all of that. There were questions that were asked in November 23 as well as May 24 related to this. Okay, May 24 not so much, but November 23 questions were asked related to this. So you have to ensure that you know those aspects also. Same way, coming to Forex also, you have to be very careful of the theory, because there is potential for asking questions there. Right. Then coming to interest rate risk management chapter. This chapter, I don't know why students get confused a lot. In fact, I have done a full-fledged marathon on this chapter also. If possible, please go and have a look at the chapter. It is a very easy chapter. You just have to simply understand the logics. You have to understand what is an FRA. You have to understand what is an interest rate call, interest rate put, basically what are a collar, what is a floor, what is a cap. You have to understand things like that. If you understand it, it is a very easy chapter. It is not at all illogical. It is one of the most logical chapters. And this chapter also, they have asked question where on what is the CTD, cheapest to deliver bond. What is the conversion factor? They have asked questions on that. So please note, things like that also you have to ask. And there is no guarantee, because they have asked recently, they will not ask. No, CTD and conversion factor. Then you have FRA, then cap, floor, collar. This is not a tough chapter. If you understand the logic, it is easy. Okay, you can probably finish it off in a day or 2, max to max. Then the next important chapter, what I would suggest is to do advanced capital budgeting decisions. Now this is a new chapter that has been introduced in the syllabus from May 24. This chapter has some good quality questions, some very, very confusing, and if you honestly ask me, some poor quality materials also there in that. They have introduced something like Hiller's method, and all that stuff, very weird stuff. But a lot of students do get confused with this concept of equivalent annual cost. Then, how do we compute, whether we multiply probability with, cash flows, or then how do we do it? So a lot of times questions come to us, and then we do NPV, or before we do NPV and then multiply with probability. There are varieties of questions people get. Okay, please go through this chapter very, very carefully, because they will ask a question in November 24. After introducing a new chapter, what is the point of not asking a question in that particular chapter? So this is one chapter which I believe very, very important for November 24. They will ask a question from this particular chapter. Now, whether it will be an ESC question, whether it will be a probability related question, I don't know. So they will ask a slightly tricky question either in November 24 or May 25, but they will ask a question in this chapter in this particular attempt. Okay. This is one, and in this some basic theory is there. So I don't think theory in this particular chapter is so dense. Theory is very basic. They have this Hiller's method and all of that. Please go through that carefully. There is a full-fledged revision of this chapter that I have done and uploaded in our YouTube channel. Please go and watch it. That covers it comprehensively. Okay, and if you're having doubts on this particular chapter or anything, please reach out to us. We're more than happy to assist. And please do inform your friends of what chapters are important, why they are important, what is the logic, why am I saying something is important. Please understand that logic. Okay. Then after that, then you can move to security valuation. Why am I saying security valuation? See, security valuation is one particular topic which has a linkage to 3 or 4 more topics. What are those? It is directly linked to your business valuation, M&A, and international financial management. So what am I saying? I am referring to your FCFF, FCFE, then I am referring to your Walters model, your Gordon growth model, and all of those. Those models are directly linked to these 4 chapters, which is why I think you should do these 4 chapters together. And the reason why I am doing these 3 chapters together is this is where students get confused the most. Start with the toughest one. Then slowly go to the more easier ones. Why start with the toughest one? Not because, there is a logic that you finish the toughest, then, you gain confidence. I actually think other way around. Toughest, it is tough for you for a reason, because you're not understanding. If you put the chapter in the beginning, you will be able to spend enough time understanding the chapter. If you push it towards the end, you will not have time towards the end to understand the chapter, which is why I'm saying start with the toughest chapter. Not necessarily because of confidence, because if you want confidence, you should start with an easy chapter. Right, I am suggesting exactly opposite. Please try and get this tough chapter out of the way initially, so that you have enough time to spend on those tough chapters. Okay, this is slightly counterintuitive, but please trust me on this. Right, so security valuation, spend a couple of days, business valuation, couple of days. They're all linked, which is why you'll move very fast. M&A, couple of days, international financial management, a day. And in international financial management, I've told this multiple times. If you are given a question where you are asked to value an international investment, don't solve that question if you have an option not to solve it. That is, if you want to leave it in choice, leave it. Why? Because these questions are subject to so many assumptions. There are so many unnecessary complications that the institute has introduced with complete lack of clarity in the way questions are. So this chapter, please study the chapter. I'm not saying don't study. Prepare for the chapter. In exam, if possible, leave in option. Leave in option if possible. If not possible, then solve it. But leave in option. And what am I referring to? I am referring to valuation of an international project, or whether it's a project you should do or not do. I am not referring to a GDR question. GDR questions are super simple. Okay. Very, very easy. You can actually look at the video and instantaneously you'll get it. It is a very simple chapter. Even by video, you can actually go to our P600. What is P600, right? It is the compiler, comprehensive practical questions compiler, which has all questions, including May 24 questions are there in that. Right? I have solved them in the class. All the questions of all varieties are solved. You can use this compiler and thoroughly be prepared. So all the questions that you're going to solve here, right, in this varieties of tough topics what I mentioned, please solve them from P600 plus. Okay, it's called P600 plus actually. Okay, please take this, where can you download it? It is the download details are available in the link below in this description of this particular video. They are also available on our website under free resources. Okay, so our website and app, IndigoLearn.com or onefin.in or OneFin app, whichever way you search, you will land on our website or app. In free resources, go and search for notes CA final. There you will find AFM notes specifically called P600 plus. So in that also you have international financial management questions are clearly laid out. You can go look at it and comprehensively solve those questions of ADR, GDR and move forward. Okay, this you can spend a day. Right, then come to bonds. Now bonds is a slightly tricky chapter, but even then I suggest that you do it slightly later, because you have all these concepts of convexity, duration and all of that, right? Bonds, you have convexity, duration, then you also have refinancing decisions, right? These are all the important questions that students actually get doubts on, where they are confused. But there is a reason why I want you to finish these 4 chapters first, with security valuation, business valuation, M&A, international valuation, because concepts are linear there. So say what concept you apply in security valuation equities can be applied in business valuation. Same thing moves for your M&A. So you can move linearly. So which is why I want you to finish that first before you actually come to a slightly tougher chapter called security valuation bonds. Some of you may want to do equities and bonds together. In my classes have split to equities separately, bonds separately. Okay, I believe that is how you should study. Equity valuation and bond valuation you cannot combine together unless it is a convertible. What is a convertible? Please, if you're in final, you know what is a convert, so you will know about it. Right, then come to mutual funds and portfolio management. Portfolio management is a tougher chapter, but finish mutual funds before that. In mutual funds, they have managed to ask tricky questions in at least 3-4 attempts in the last 7-8 attempts. Okay, so please pay enough attention to mutual fund chapter. And mutual fund chapter, the workings are all about logic and math, arithmetic. It is not great knowledge, or it is not some great theory or anything. It is simple arithmetic. So arithmetic means what? Arithmetic means 1 plus 2 plus 3, okay, 1 by a, 1 by 2, 3 by 2, solving some equation, getting some answer. It is all like that only, especially in the last tricky questions that have been asked in the last 7 or 8 attempts. Wherever there has been a tricky question, it is an arithmetic question. It is not a logically tricky question. Okay, so please spend time on those kind of tricky questions. You can spend a couple of days on that. And portfolio management is a chapter which is a tough chapter. Now, please understand the theories of portfolio management very well. And portfolio management also has a good quality theory. They have not been asking great theory from this, but they will ask now more, because there is option of MCQs. In MCQs, they can ask you twisted questions on theories. Okay, so this is one chapter important for MCQs. Then bonds, you have then interest rate risk management, derivatives, and Forex. These please don't expect simple MCQs. Please expect complicated MCQs. In the now May 24 attempt in derivatives, they asked a simple MCQ and they made a mistake also apparently in that. Okay, I don't have the question paper because they don't release it. Some question papers are doing rounds in YouTube and other channels, right? So I'm not going to get into that. But these are the chapters where MCQs can also be tricky, which is why you need to spend more time on those chapters. If you look at this, the chapters where I've given 3 days, 4 days and all are for a reason. There you have to be thorough with the concepts, right? Then you can come to these other chapters which are simpler chapters, your risk management, security analysis, right? These are chapters where you have things about whether this particular stock movement is, the market is efficient or not efficient, run test. The security analysis is one chapter where you have a lot of theory as well. You have various Dow theory, Elliott theory, random walk, then you have this EMA, moving averages. A lot of theory is there, so you can spend half day to 1 day only on that. Please note, you have to spend good enough time in that particular chapter. This is a chapter where again you can get a good quality MCQ question. Alright, then securitization, startups, financial policy and corporate strategy. These again 3 chapters are fully theory. Every single attempt questions have come from this chapter. Okay, every single attempt theory questions have come. There is no attempt where questions were not asked. Even if it was a 2-mark question, it was asked. So these 3 chapters, spend a day each on all of them. I am telling that for a reason. There is a very high scoring probability. Theory, you straight away get 2 to 3 marks, right? Or sometimes even 4 marks. If you know the theory, you're through. So please spend on each of these chapters 1 day. There may be some kind of MCQ questions, but I don't think these are the primary ones where they will ask you deeper MCQs, because these are very theoretical chapters, right? So very difficult to, they can pick up any single line and ask a question. I don't think that is at least the intention of the institute. They will want to ask you good quality theory questions, right? So these 3 chapters, spend 3 days. So totally how much you have, you add all these days, you will finally end up with about 28 odd days. Right, 28 days you will have for revision every day, 4 hours, CA final, AFM. Please start it on July 14, 15, whenever day. There is no good day. Probably, immediately after results, 1 or 2 days, you may want to take a break. Immediately after that, start off. Do not waste any time. No matter what, please don't waste time. So it will take you 28 days of full-fledged revision. Then you do this revision, you should do initially from July 15th till first revision is July 15th to August 15th. Please finish off your first revision at this point of time. Okay, every day, 4 hours, formula sheet. Please keep formula sheet beside you. Important questions highlight. You use a post-it or write them down somewhere. Important adjustments. All of this you can do from P600 plus. Okay, you can note down there, and you can, this first 28 days should be super thorough. This 28 days super thoroughness should help you prepare for next 15 days. Now, next 15 days preparation, where I have given, if you see here, I have said you do the second revision, 2 days for derivatives, 2 days for Forex, half a day for interest rate. Like that, I have given you the day count also. So, it will come to roughly about 15 odd days. Right. Now, this 15 days, there are two strategies here. Because if some of you may be repeaters, what they would ideally want to do is, some of these repeaters would immediately after doing the first revision write mocks. Okay, I think it is a good strategy. You should write few mocks before the second revision, so you know that if some topic or subject I have to do better, you will have an opportunity to do better. So, if you want to write at least 2 to 3 mocks immediately after first revision. After August 15th, please write 2 to 3 marks. And when you write marks, don't write marks for one subject. Okay, finish 2 subjects, FR plus AFM first. Write the marks for both those subjects. Okay, please plan it like that. Then you will have a sense of completion for 2 subjects. But eventually in the exam, you're going to write all 3 or 6 subjects together. That is one after the other, right? So you cannot say that I will prepare for 25, 30, 40 days only one subject, and then I will finish all that marks and then I will come to other subjects. That cannot work. You have to write 2 to 3 marks of at least 2 subjects together. Okay, once you finish this, then come back again in September first week. Or probably you can come back in September 15th or so. Second revision. Do this second revision. Second revision is of what? Of 15 days. In this second revision, you should not try to learn any new concept. You should have learned that new concept in the first revision only. Or tough concept, you should not try to learn. You should spend time revising stuff. Whatever formula sheets that you prepared, important questions, whatever you have highlighted, important adjustments, you should revise those again. You should go through them again. And when I say revise, for a practical paper, revision is solving. Revision is not reading. Okay, don't watch my video like a Netflix video. Please solve them. Your life, right? CA final is, you will not be able to start your career without that. So please don't watch it like Amazon Prime or Netflix videos. Please solve the questions. Okay, this is next part. September 15th to 30th, you finish this. Okay, once you finish this, then write balance 2 to 3 marks. And when you write a mock, I have also allocated days specifically for the mock. I have allocated 6 days for the mock. Full day, 6 full days. I have allocated 6 days for the mock. So you write mock in the morning for 3 hours or so. Please write fully and then evaluate it for an hour or 2. Okay, like that, write mocks every day, write a couple of mocks. That is when you will actually build the capacity to remember all of these stuff, multiple subjects together. Possible, write 2 mocks, otherwise write 1 mock a day, that is also fine. But my suggestion is, in a span of 49 days, you will be able to finish the entire subject. But then why did I say 55 to 60 days? Because you need to always keep a buffer. There will always be 1 or 2 days when you will have, see, before your exams, you will have Dashera, you will have Ganesh Chaturthi, you will have some other festival will be there. Aya, Savan, June, something will happen in life. Okay, so please ensure that there is enough buffer. Don't pack your life. Please keep 5-6 days buffer. And also, just before the exams, you may want to do 1 day revision. So, October 22nd, you may want to study paper 6. 23rd, you may want to study paper 5. 24th, paper 4. Like that, you may want to come in the reverse order. If at all you want to do that, you need to have buffer days, which is why I've given extra 5 to 6 buffer days. Okay. Okay, this is what is the thing. Now, after doing all of this, you also have to do MCQs. Now, I have not given separate MCQ ke liye plan. You know why? Because you have all the, whenever you are studying, preparing, you are preparing for MCQs. Please don't think of MCQs as some mountain. Okay, if you know the subject, if you know the concept, MCQ will be easily doable. Okay, please don't overthink on it. But having said that, you should allocate, after these 49 days, you should allocate 1 day, okay, or probably half day after first revision, half day after second revision for MCQs. I have roughly about 500 to 600 MCQs on our app, 500 to 600 MCQs. These are available on app, on OneFin app. Okay, so please, they are available on the website also, of course. So you can go there, please solve. please take comprehensive test. Don't go to this chapter wise test. Chapter wise test you can take whenever you are finishing a chapter, immediately go and take the chapter wise test. When you're finishing derivatives, go and take the derivatives chapter wise test. Security valuation chapter wise. But comprehensive tests are the more important ones. So out of this, for 600 questions, roughly 300 to 300 or so are comprehensive tests. So go to those comprehensive tests and take them after every mock, or along with the mock, or immediately after the mock. On that day, spend some time. That way, you're also prepared. You have that mental confidence that you've prepared for MCQs. Okay, so this is broadly the plan that I have. Even though there are 110 days, I am giving you a plan for 55 days. Why? As I said, 50 to 51 days is for preparation, 3-4 days is for your marks, 3-4 days is for buffer. Okay, this way you can actually prepare for all 6 subjects also. But even if you are preparing for 3 subjects, this is a plan that will work for you. Okay, so if you guys are finding any specific topic stuff, you think anything is confusing, or if you want, Suraj is going to do one more video on FR, how to approach and all of that. We're going to get more videos out on preparation strategy for November 24. Okay, don't worry about that, right? But if you want anything, know anything, need anything, require anything, please drop in a message, comment on this particular video, or reach out to us on our email ID, support@IndigoLearn.com, or reach out to us on our phone number, which is displayed in the description below. Please reach out. We are more than happy to assist you. Those of you who are writing for the first time, or those of you who are repeaters who are unfortunately having to write again, do not worry. Approach this as the first attempt. Only then you will be able to move forward with a peaceful mind and actually succeed in the exams. Okay? So I'll not waste further time. All the very best, and prepare very well for your November 24 exams.